Thank you. Welcome to today's full council meeting. Welcome to members of the public who are attending in the public gallery, those in the conference hall and those watching this meeting via our YouTube channel. For those in the building, I would like to draw your attention to the emergency evacuation procedure. Please leave the cathedral by the chamber by the nearest exit and congregate by the cathedral. As with any council meeting, please treat each other with due courtesy, tolerance and respect. Agenda item number 2, apologies for absence. I have received apologies from councillors Alexander, Bales, Blake, Breckles, Clark, Dyer, Francis, Hayward, Gemfrey, King, Kohler, Logan, Russell, Rippington and Tate. Are there any other apologies?
Councillor Morris and Councillor Bador-Uden.
Thank you. Agenda item 3, declarations of interest. Please can I ask whether any councillors have any interest to declare regarding items on today's agenda? No? Okay. Agenda item number 4, public forum. 30 minutes will be allowed for this item, which is split into 15 minutes for petitions and statements and 15 minutes for questions. Details of the petitions, statements and questions received have been published on the council website. I'll go through the list, calling on those that have indicated they plan to attend the meeting. Speakers are asked to pay attention to the traffic light system on the dais and start to wrap up when the lights turn amber. There were no public forum petitions received for this meeting. There were a total of 5 public statements received. 3 members of the public indicated that they plan to attend and speak to their statements. They're displayed on the screen and we'll run through those statements in order. I'll invite each person to speak for 1 minute. Please summarise your statement and bear in mind that they were published for councillors and the public to read in advance of this meeting. First up, do I have Terry Braemar?
Yes.
Lovely, you have a minute.
There is a groundswell of discontent growing in this country, and I'm referring to the insidious creep of the LTNs. I hear no dissent or disagreement from the Greens. Far from it, you seem to think this is the way forward. Well, what I see is neighbourhoods struggling to function and suffocating from dying businesses. Carers having to cut back on their care. Families no longer being able to share ferrying their kids, and even Labour are voicing disapproval and concern, to which you Greens seem to be oblivious. Now, I believe we live in a democracy. What you seem to be proposing, that
20 seconds.
Greens can vote in any policy they choose, propels me to question, can you really call that democracy? What, no checks and balances? No one holding your feet to the fire? No questioning of accountability? And surely that matters because you Greens are missing the heart of almost every issue. You are killing Bristol and you are draining its blood.
Thank you, Terry. Your time's up. Public statement number 3 from Melissa Topping. Is Melissa here?
Hello. Many have grave concerns regarding the governance demonstrated by the current majority group, as evidenced by a clear pattern of public disregard. Firstly, the 3 a.m. ambush on our community was a deeply unsettling move. The action betrayed public trust and showed governing by stealth, not consent. Second, and most crucially, is the clear failure to comply with PSED in their decision-making. This failure resulted in the neglect of disabled residents, leaving me personally without safe access to my home in my disabled vehicle for 9 long months. This was not an oversight. This was a deliberate choice to put their agenda over fundamental human rights and safety. Ignoring disabled residents and ambushing communities is not responsible leadership. It is a fundamental failure of duty. They have already pushed forward ignoring other parties. This will only get worse. We urge this council to acknowledge these failures and to
Thank you, Melissa. Your time's up now.
That the safety and accessibility needs of all residents will be priority.
Thank you,
not
Melissa.
an afterthought.
Thank you. Public statement number 4 from Caroline Dunn. And Caroline, because you informed me about your additional needs, I'm happy to allocate you an extra 30 seconds for your statement. So you have 1 minute 30.
Hello. Yes, well, I think I might need a bit more than 30 seconds. Right, I want to speak to my statement, which I think is yet another statement of the obvious, and it's short. I hope you've all read it. But I wish to emphasise that there's a reason to have a vote. Firstly, it's the correct thing to do, although sadly I doubt that some of the councillors will actually be bothered about that. Secondly, it will give everybody very useful feedback on the current situation politically in the city, and everybody's very concerned about Reform Party, etc. And thirdly, and this is what people may not have thought about, it will give necessary dissemination of much needed for everybody, but currently unknown information about the very major transformation and in some ways destruction of the centre of our city and our economy by the huge vast changes planned for the next year or two. And I just wish to emphasise that sometimes I feel we live in an apartheid city within which segregation, there are multiple parallel lives. And during COVID, some people took a lovely staycation, but there was this vast underbelly of people who actually kept the whole city going. It wasn't just the nurses and bin men, it was cleaners and so on. And these people who keep the city going are still doing it. They don't have time to watch programmes on things like Points West. They don't have time to listen to the radio. They don't have time to read articles. They don't buy the Evening Post.
20 seconds,
They're trying
Caroline.
desperately hard to keep themselves and their families going. And to them, as I go around the city, I find the whole thing just hasn't got through. But an election would necessarily mean there'd be widespread dissemination of the council's huge changes plan,
Thank you, Caroline. Your
which
time's
can
up
only
now.
possibly
Thank you, Caroline.
be beneficial for all.
Thank you. So now we move on to public questions received. The questions received and written responses from the relevant committee chair have been published on the website. A list is shared on the screen now. 3 questions were received from members of the public. One of those had indicated they wished to attend and speak. We will try to cover as many questions as possible in the 15 minutes available. It may not be possible for everyone to speak, so we ask for your patience as we run through the questions. When I call on you, your question will be displayed on the screen. You're invited to ask a maximum of 2 supplementary questions based on the written response. The deputy leader or relevant chair will reply verbally to your supplementary questions. So public question number 2 from Melissa Topping. The leader of the council is not here, so we have the deputy leader, Councillor Mack. So you have 2 supplementary questions for her.
Right, thank you. In answer to answer 2 to the questions, Councillor Mack, sorry I had Dyer written, your own members have publicly stated they can now push policies through without the support of other parties. If all scrutiny is conducted internally by councillors from the majority group, how can the public be genuinely assured that these well-established arrangements provide the necessary cross-party challenge and impartial oversight needed for transparent, balanced and democratic decision-making?
Thank you, and I think it is a really good question. You know, we have moved to this committee model style of working, which was supported by the Greens, so that we would have parties involved in our discussion, deliberation and decision making, and we continue in that system where everything is open through our task and finish groups developing policy, with quite a number open at the moment, through every briefing before the meetings, the agenda briefings, the discussion that happens before meetings, and then the discussion in meetings where every party member on the committee will be able to air concerns, views, and do that scrutiny of decisions, and every party will have that vote.
And your next supplementary?
Can you answer why Rob Breyer is clearly stating online that you will now be able to push policies through without any support from other parties?
So I think, as has been explained in a few of the public answers here, when we have 50% of the councillors, we'll have 50% on committees, and there is this system of a casting vote. But as is in one of the other answers to a question, we will still strive for consensus, and we think that it is helpful to work along with the other parties.
Thank you. That concludes public questions. So agenda item number 5, political proportionality and allocation of committee seats 2025-26. I'd like to move this report and call on the Deputy Lord Mayor to second the report.
Thank you, my Lord Mayor. I'm afraid I'm not able to second this evening's report. There are elements of it I don't agree with. Thank you very much.
Or would another member of the council be happy to second? Yep, so that's Councillor Edwards.
I'll second, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. The recommendations are shown on the screen.
Point of order, Chair. The Liberal Democrats submitted an amendment to this motion. I have it here. We disagree with the substance of the paper that gives complete control of policy and finance to the Green Party when they do not have a majority in this council, either by election or by defection. So our amendment proposed an alternative solution of reaching proportionality. Where is it, please?
Thank you. The leader of the Liberal Democrat group knows that the monitoring officer spoke to your political advisor to say that your amendment wasn't legally standing. So unless you want to propose a new motion from the floor.
Well, Chair, I think the monitoring officer in ruling out this amendment has said that it doesn't meet the tests in law, but that is actually a political decision, not a legal one. So Local Government Act 1989, I'm holding it, section 15.4, says that we allocate seats proportionally so far as reasonably practicable, and we believe that having all of the committees with even numbers with a casting vote every single time is not a practical way of running an authority. What is practical is a political judgment, not a legal one, so the amendment should be put to the Council. Secondly, section 17.1 says that the Council can disregard all of the principles if we vote to do so. That, again, a political judgment on what we vote to do, not for the lawyers to tell us that we cannot have that vote. We think that the Council should have the opportunity to make a judgment on our amendment and find an alternative way of reaching proportionality that doesn't give complete control to the Green Party of every one of our committees when they do not have a majority in this Council.
Can I make a point of order, Lord Mayor?
Of course.
We've had two party group leaders meetings where proportionality was discussed. This was not discussed with the other party group leaders before this, so we haven't had sight of this amendment, and therefore I think it should be ruled out of order.
Councillor Clark has tried to make contact with other party group leaders today. We didn't hear back, and also I don't think considering changing the entire structure, it's gone through one party group leader meeting. We just feel that it's a rush decision. There are other options, and that's what we'd like to explore.
Well, as there's no new motion tabled, we'll vote on the one that has been proposed by...
This is the amendment that we put in this morning. Are you going to accept that?
Okay, we'll accept it for now, but what we'll do is we'll adjourn the meeting and for 15 minutes and then we'll come back to the chamber. Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to hand over to the monitoring officer who's going to explain the technicalities about the amendment.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Apologies, everyone, that it's taken a little while to work this through. Myself, the Lord Mayor and the Chief Executive have met with party group leaders to just go through the rather technical detail in respect of why the amendment as proposed is not acceptable this evening. I've committed to provide a detailed note to party group leaders in writing, hopefully by close of play tomorrow, to confirm that position. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. So we're voting on the report. So again, I'd like to move the report, and I think Councillor Emma Edwards, you were seconding the report. Yeah.
Yes, happy to second, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. This will be an e-vote, so please ensure you're in your allocated seats. Voting will be open for 15 seconds. Just bear with us 2 seconds. Please vote now. Thank you. So the results are 25 for, 5 against, and 16 abstentions. So that recommendation is... Let's try again. 25 for, 16 against, and 5 abstentions. So that recommendation is approved. Thank you very much. That concludes agenda item number 5 in today's meeting. The next meeting of full council will be held on the 9th of December 2025. Thank you.